Guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Dr. Rena Malik, urologist and pelvic surgeon, where you can learn all about urology and much, much more. So today we are going to be reacting to Wanda Sykes' comedy special where she talks a little bit about some bladder issues. And I wanted to point out today that I'm wearing my You Don't Get to Be Offended by Science t-shirt, which is from Mama Dr. Jones. She has a wonderful YouTube channel all about OBGYN and issues related to that specialty, obstetrics and gynecology. Super great, super entertaining. So make sure you go check it out and buy a shirt because it's 100% true. You don't get to be offended by science. So make sure if you like what you see here, don't forget to subscribe and push that little button over there and give us a thumbs up. Let's get to it.
I never think about age, but just some changes happen to let you know that the age process is happening. You know, like just little things. Like now, when I say I have to pee, I mean I have to pee.
So what she's talking about is overactive bladder. Overactive bladder is a condition that consists of a number of different symptoms, including urgency, frequency, urinary incontinence, and nocturia. And what are all those fancy terms anyways? Well, urgency is that feeling when you get to the door and you gotta go, and you can't make it. You feel like you can't make it to the bathroom. And frequency is going very often during the day. And that's kind of a subjective measure, but we usually say if you're going more than 8 times a day, that's called urinary frequency. Urgency urinary incontinence is when you have that sensation that you gotta go, and you can't delay getting to the bathroom, and then you have an accident. And nocturia is waking up at night to urinate. For older people, it's usually 1 time is considered normal. And for younger people, you shouldn't wake up at all unless you're drinking a lot before bedtime. So overactive bladder is caused by a lot of different things. They can be age, as she mentioned. Some people do actually have these symptoms worse as they get older. It can also be certain things in your diet, like bladder irritants. So there's a list of bladder irritants that you can find online. You can also check out my video on bladder irritants that goes over the most common bladder irritants and kind of the science behind them, but most commonly alcohol, coffee, spicy foods, acidic foods, or artificial sweeteners. All of those things can irritate your bladder. It can also be due to some comorbid conditions that you have or medications you take, like diuretics that make you pee more often. It can also be due to obesity and having neurologic problems that can affect your bladder, like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, previous history of back surgeries, or things of that nature. If you do suffer from overactive bladder symptoms, there are 5 easy things you can do without having to go to the doctor to see if your symptoms can improve. And you can check out my video that goes over all those 5 things. If those don't work, there are a number of other things we have to offer you. So make sure you make an appointment with your local urologist. Some of these include medications like anticholinergics or beta-3 agonists that can help reduce the sensation of urgency, frequency, and urgency incontinence. If medications don't work, there are third-line options. Some of these are really minimally invasive. Some include Botox injections in the bladder. Another one is what's called a bladder pacemaker, called sacral neuromodulation. And the last one is called PTNS, which is based off of acupuncture, where we put a small needle in the ankle and you come to the office for 30 minutes for 12 weeks to see if that improves your symptoms. All of these things can really effectively improve your bladder symptoms. So make sure if you are bothered and you're having issues to go see a urologist and see if you can get some help.
Before, you know, I used to carry extra panties in my purse in case I got lucky. Now I carry them in case I sneeze.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad that a lot of people think that this is completely normal to have leakage when you sneeze. So what she's talking about here is stress urinary incontinence. And it's really, really so sad that so many people think this is a normal part of aging and totally not a problem at all. But really, it is a problem and it's not normal. Why does this happen? Well, one, it can be because of women who've had children. So what happens is as you have children and multiple childbirths, you can cause injury to the pelvic floor, or your pelvic floor can become weak. When your pelvic floor becomes weak, when you put any pressure on your pelvic floor due to coughing, sneezing, jumping on a trampoline, things like that, when you have some weakness, it can actually cause some leakage. Stress incontinence can be worse for certain types of lifestyles. So if you're on your feet a lot, like hairdressers, nurses, doctors, or if you're doing really intense physical activity like CrossFit, where you're doing a lot of squatting, those things can worsen stress incontinence, and smoking can also worsen stress incontinence. For some people, they might have to wear a liner. It's not a huge deal. But for some people, this can be really, really traumatic. And they're going through tons and tons of pads. Mind you, those are super expensive for patients. And it doesn't feel so great. So there are things we can do to help. First and foremost, the treatment for this usually includes physical therapy or Kegel exercises. So a lot of you probably have heard of Kegel exercises, have tried to do them yourself, but I'll be honest, I bet you most of you are not doing them correctly. So it often helps a significant amount to actually go see a certified pelvic floor physical therapist who helps with pelvic floor dysfunction and can teach you how to do these exercises correctly. This can very significantly help people. Other options available to you, like incontinence pessaries or dishes that you can place in the vagina that hold up the urethra to help prevent leakage when you have those stressful activities. Or there are surgical options, and those you should discuss with your urologist and see if any of those are right for you. But there is really no reason for you to suffer. There are options available to help you. You don't need to carry around underwear with you unless you really want to. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you learned something and enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment below if there's anything else you'd like me to react to, and make sure to check out my channel. Every Monday I release a new video, and always remember to take care of yourself because you're worth it.